It's easy to get lost in those specific thoughts, isn't it? The what ifs, the alternative timelines, the versions of your life that could have been if only you'd made different choices. What if you'd taken that job? What if you'd moved to that city? What if you'd said yes instead of no, or no instead of yes? What if you'd been braver, smarter, more prepared? What if you'd known then what you know now? What if, what if, what if? And maybe those scenarios feel comforting sometimes, like you're keeping possibilities alive, like you're honoring paths not taken, like you're maintaining connection to versions of yourself that never got to exist. But mostly, they just hurt, don't they? Because you can't go back. You can't undo what's done. You can't live those other lives no matter how vividly you imagine them. And dwelling in the what ifs, it keeps you from being fully present in the life you're actually living, the choices you actually made, the reality you're actually in. So here's what I want to gently suggest. There's grace in letting them go. Real, unexpected grace. Not in forcing yourself to stop wondering, but in releasing the grip those scenarios have on you, and acknowledging, yes, that could have happened. Yes, my life might have been different. Yes, there are other versions of me living in my imagination. And then choosing to be here, in this version, in this life, in the reality you're actually living. Not because it's perfect, not because you made all the right choices, not because you have no regrets, but because this is where you are. And dwelling in where you could have been, it doesn't change that. It just makes you a ghost in your own life. So let's talk about those what ifs. What are they? What scenarios are you carrying? What alternate versions of your life are you holding on to? Maybe it's a relationship that ended, and you wonder if it had worked out. What if you'd tried harder? What if they'd been different, or you'd been different? Maybe it's a career path you didn't take, and you wonder, what if you'd followed that dream? What if you'd been bolder? What if you'd prioritized passion over security? Maybe it's a moment you can't undo, a choice you regret, a chance you missed, and you wonder, what if you'd done it differently? What if you'd known better? What if you could go back and change it? Whatever it is, I want you to know the wondering is human. The imagining is natural. There's nothing wrong with occasionally considering how things might have been different. But when the what ifs become your dwelling place, when you're more invested in the life you didn't live than the life you're living, that's when they stop being reflection and start being escape. And escaping into alternative scenarios, it might feel safer than facing your actual reality, but it also keeps you from fully inhabiting your life, from finding meaning in what actually is, from creating something valuable in what you have instead of mourning what you don't. So what would it mean to let go? It doesn't mean saying those other paths weren't valuable. It doesn't mean pretending you made perfect choices. It doesn't mean eliminating all wonder or curiosity about how things might have been different. It means releasing the grip, loosening the attachment, acknowledging the what ifs without letting them define your present. It means saying, yes, that could have been, but it wasn't. And this is what is, and I can work with this. I can create meaning from this. I can live fully in this. Because here's what I've learned about letting go of what ifs. It creates space. Space for presence, space for gratitude, space for engaging with your actual life instead of mourning versions that don't exist. It creates energy you were using to maintain those alternative scenarios, energy you can redirect toward creating something real in your actual present. It creates peace, not the peace of having made perfect choices, but the peace of accepting imperfect ones, the peace of being here, now, in what actually is. And it creates love. Love for yourself because you're no longer holding yourself in the past, trapped in endless cycles of could-haves, should-haves, would-haves. And allowing the past to exist, learning from it, and loving yourself enough to move forward from the place you are now at, that's the unexpected grace. not in the scenarios being wrong or right, not in your choices being justified or condemned, but in finally, gently, releasing the need to live in multiple timelines at once. And from that presence, something becomes possible that wasn't available while you were dwelling in the what-ifs. You can actually engage with your life, actually make choices that matter, create meaning instead of just imagining it in scenarios that will never exist. You can take the lessons from your wondering and apply them to your reality. You can acknowledge what you wish had been different and use that knowledge to shape what comes next. You can honor the paths not taken without letting them haunt the path you're on. That's the shift. From being haunted by what-ifs to being informed by them. From dwelling in alternate scenarios to learning from them and moving forward. So let them go. Not with violence, not with judgment, not with pretending they never mattered, but with gentleness, with acknowledgement, with gratitude for what they taught you and release of their hold on your present. Thank you for showing me what I value. Thank you for revealing what I wish I'd done differently. Thank you for the wisdom you've offered. But I'm here now, in this life, in this reality, and I choose to be fully present for it. And you can use those what-if possibilities to inform what you'd like to create moving forward, because you have the power to create a life filled with whatever you choose. That's the grace, the unexpected, liberating grace of letting go, of releasing what could have been and embracing what is, of choosing this life, these choices, this moment, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. It's yours, and you have the ability to create anything you'd like within it. If you ever need help releasing the what-ifs, please come back. The light will always be left on for you.